Full time. No wins in 2. We go into a game against Grimsby in the week, trying to look for our first win of the season. We still can't actually score a goal from our own players, by the way. Once again, that is still a game which we haven't scored from open play, or Man United player hasn't scored. And for those that will say, obviously nothing's changed. You're right. I think how can we say to KG that anything's changed there? How can we say that? We can't.
It's this everything. We bought new players. It's terrible. That's the truth of it. It's like we're playing a way that the manager is asking for, and we can't get the results. So what do? Like, we're just rubbish, like in front of goal. Like, we're rubbish. We're absolutely rubbish. That's it. We didn't lose. I'll take that only solace from the game. What's crazy is, if I go back to the beginning of the game, we had the good little moment, Cunha hitting the post, and then what else do we have? 2 Cunha moments. They don't score for nose. We have a penalty. The fact that we've lost this game with 1-1 is absolutely insane. But yeah, I don't know if Amorim is getting the best out of this. Bruno misses an important penalty. Yeah. I don't know.
Super chat. I'll get to
I'll
the
worry
super
for the
chats
manager.
I'll get to the super chats in just a second. I am now actually live on my own channel, and thank God I've got something to watch after this, KG, because screw watching the thinking about Man United and the football, because nothing's changed. Rubbish. Boyos says free Cobby, the midfield is non-existent. Akil says Amorim, Bruno and Dallo out and goalkeepers too. Danny DeFito says Portuguese masterclass. Ruben no clue. Bruno misses penalty. Dallo mistake for equalizer. Ruben ain't making Christmas. Pav says Rasmus Sheshko. JP says the commitment to Bruno will be Ruben's downfall. Get Saudi on the line. Gersha says same 10 to 20 minutes FC. Need to take chances. Outplayed again.
We didn't even lose, you dickhead. We didn't even lose. We didn't lose, bro.
Can't be bothered. Cage's Beard Stylist says, gentlemen, we have a poor manager out of his depth. Don F says, I swear, Amorim, if I speak. And Mason says, what's the point in splashing all that on Sheshko when our midfield gets out-muscled and can't control anything? Yeah, it's rough. It's rough indeed. If you haven't already, click the like button, guys. I know it's not a lot to like about in terms of performance, but it does help out the channel. Be sure to subscribe as well to United View. We are nearly 30 away from 203. I can't even speak, honestly. I can't even speak.
I'm saying this, man. The fact is, all those positives mean absolutely nothing. From the last, you see the Arsenal positives? Remember I was saying if we don't win after Arsenal game, it means nothing.
Yeah.
What happened in the Arsenal game? I don't give a shit about everyone running and stuff, because I know that obviously people trying to force me back into like supporting obviously the manager, like to be or Amorim in then. And it's like, no, like we have to see something. You know what I mean? And right now, there's big questions. There's question marks. The question mark is, yes, this team was brilliant. What was we today? We just changed. So you can't say now now we put all the money in and we're still making similar mistakes. Why do you wait for Maguire to get on to the side we're going to play to the 9? That's an issue for me.
Oh, this is what I was saying before the game with the whole, and it was the same last week, with the whole about Sheshko, is he ready, not ready? And I know came on, didn't do that much, but it's difficult to get going in the game. We need a focal point. We can't score. Literally, we can't score.
And now you've got the players. Now the players are there. Sorry, go on.
No, there's no excuses. We were saying before this game, Ruben Amorim is no more excuses. You've got 200 million worth more of attacking players, and you still can't score, and you're still conceding from set pieces. And now you're going into a game against Grimby. By the way, we're in the Carabao Cup second round because we're so shit we can't even be in Europe. We're playing in the second round, and we're hoping that that's going to be our first win of the season. It's not good enough. It's not. Then there's no room for excuses. No room for the players or this, that, and the other. It's not working. It's not working. And I mentioned earlier on, the comparisons will rightfully so be made when they say there were two teams in the Europa League final last season. One team won the competition and still said, this ain't working, change the manager. That team is now top of the table. They went toe-to-toe with the champions of Europe. They beat Manchester City and they won comfortably on the opening day. Meanwhile, we didn't make a change, but we did invest heavily. We're just as shit as we were before. But I thought we were meant to get better one game a week.
I'm glad we didn't lose. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be that, as I said, the ups and downs. We didn't lose. We'll just take that. But there's still concerns, though. I don't think it's time to throw everything at the pram. Those little moments, but he's not done himself any favors at the moment. He's not doing himself any favors. We started well and we fell off. That's the truth. We can go crazy. I don't think it's go crazy time, but it's definitely, he's got to work out. He's got to start playing with Sesko is key. Start the game with Sesko and go from there. Start with your strongest team. Start with Cunha in his, because now they have to play a different thing and it's not getting the way it needs to go. Are you with me? So start with Sesko, start with the team that you bought, your strongest team, and then make the changes. The fact that he goes to, remember I said, bring on Kobe before the Ugarte thing. Yes, he can run around, but there's no control, really. So that's what you had that issue as well. But the low sold us down the stream as well, because that touch is criminal. The low let us down today. Bruno let us down today. Big time.
Everyone did, really. Everyone.
No, but I'm saying no, because we had enough to win the game. We was winning, was in a winning position. And then Bruno should have scored his penalty, would have done wonders for us. The low taking that criminal touch is crazy. But yeah, I think we don't need to we just don't need to lose it all the way, basically. Just didn't get the result today, didn't lose. But yeah.
And look, it's one of those ones where nothing's going to happen to Ruben Amorim between now and next week or anything like that. But I think if you were of the mindset, and there were a lot, if you were of the mindset that, I don't care what you do in the summer, nothing's changed, you would see that today and go, well, that was a match that very easily could have taken place last season, right? And it says a lot where we're at. Where we're coming out of it. Go, well, we didn't lose. Fucking Fulham away. We've won our last 8 times there, and now we're so crap. We're coming out of it going, yeah, but we didn't lose today. Holy shit! And I know that's standards on the floor and all that kind of stuff, but fucking hell, just bought a brand new front three for 200 million. Premier League proven front three.
I would change the. The only issue is, the system, it doesn't help us in it. That's the truth of the matter. We play a system that you have to be perfect to play, and it's hurting us. Casemiro's out there, Bruno looks crazy out there, everyone looks wild out there, bro, and it's shit. Change it.
Let me get these super chats.
I change it.
I got a million. Garsha says, same 10 to 20 minutes FC, need to take the chances, outplayed again. KG's beard stylist says, gentlemen, we have a poor manager out of his depth. Don F says, I swear Amorim if I speak. I did read these, didn't I? Where are we up to? Slango Mango says, can anyone point to the improvement? Eddie's been a member for 2 months, says, the mid-high from last week is now very low again. I don't know if I can survive another 15th place season. Well, that's what everyone said. Everyone said last week, didn't they? Said it all counts for nothing if you go to Craven Cottage next week and you shit the bed. And can you smell that, guys? Yeah, the bed's been soiled. Yeah, the sheets are soiled with shit. Creflon Don says, Owen, honestly, what has changed in this team from last season? I mean, the only positive, if you're going to be really splitting hairs, you could make the argument, well, like KG said earlier on, we should have been 2 or 3-0 up, given the chances that we had, but we weren't, if only. We did if onlys a lot last year, didn't we? Alhambra says, Amram said the storm had ended, but it's just the eye. Super Arch says, Sal Bruno now. Jesus, ma'am. Sure, too. Ellen says, I literally hate our fan base that failed to support my team. You know who you are, shitbags, as we say in Norway. I will push back on that, Ellen, and say I'm kind of done with the thing of criticizing people for getting angry. They've had to put through a lot of shit the last couple of years. And if they're not happy that nothing's changed with their team, I think they're right to voice their opinion. It's like KG said earlier on. Maturing is realized that not everyone's going to think the same. Some people from day dot have been convinced by Ruben Amorim. Some people will stay loyal to the very end because that's what they perceive as how to be a fan. There's no right or wrong answer to it, is there? Really, KG, is there? Everyone's different.
It's just it's a shame because basically we spent money and we do look the same. If you really want to break this down and say what the truth is, you spent all the money in the world and we just look like how we did last season. Well, at first it was really good football in the beginning, but that was football without the striker on. So you're telling me that you want to play, like, don't tell me now our game just arrives around Mason Mount, because that's really worrying. That's the issue. That is an issue for me, to be honest. You tell me we took off Mount and then after we just become rubbish and we don't have a striker. That don't make no sense. So, and the fact that we're not playing to the striker that we spent all the money on, So it's a lot to build on, but it's a shit result, and we just look the same. That's the truth.
Tabra says 1 point down, only 39 more to cement our safety in the league next season. This man just stinks. Brings on 2 defenders when we're drawing. Hammer him out. Tabs had enough. Michael Ebb's been around for 10 months, says first 15, 20 minutes, we were very good. Bruno scores the pen and Cunha takes one of those and it's a different game. It will get better, but he needs results now. Aditya says the amount of work and control this shape requires to attack and to defend is too inefficient. Too many players have to be in form for this to work. Graham says, I am so tired of being patient with this club. I don't want to hear project. When Thomas Frank walks into Spurs and then has them scoring 5 goals in 2 games, Bruno will be Ruben's downfall. Jason Hanna says, Amrim engaged management is shocking. Serious questions have to be asked. No game time for Cobby again. Criminal. Troy Superstar said, would take Rude as interim manager. Folks, Amrim out. Hits me. Phil says, I swear everyone's saying it's not the system. Bought a brand new front line. They can't even make it happen with this style of play. Tell me I'm wrong. Ant Al says, Amrim cost us the win today. He just did. Amanor says, where are the Amrim fanboys? I.e. Kristen. Anthony says, 2 games, 1 centre-back goal. It was no own goal as well. Hoyland, bomb squad smiling. Jadine, has been for 35 months, says, why don't we talk about how Amarim's tactics were snuffed out? Marcus Silva shut down the wing-backs and Amarim had no reply, consistently passing back. Scars says, at this point, I'm keeping Hoyland. # not his fault. Bloody hell. With the revisionism starting, KG. Zibby Doo says, can you see Ahmad's face? Man, is already ruining him and Manu. Told you guys he's out after 6 games, looking more and more likely. Man Up says, for me, that's a point gained. We will get better. Creflon Don says, KG, the system wouldn't work with the Galacticos squad. Seen enough. Chris X Cross said, would play Chuck Norris as a striker in this team and we wouldn't score. We could play Chuck Norris. Nathan says, why is it we play and we rely on 1 chance when Liverpool, Arsenal, City play is 6 to 8 chances minimum? We need to control games. The system stinks. Sub N says, we are in for another mediocre season. How do we manage to make good players mediocre is beyond me. Cunha and Mbumo looked ordinary today, except the first few minutes. Starting to think Amarim is a problem. Gaurav says, to be honest, guys, we're rotten to the core. We can change the manager. Players spend millions. When the apples is rotten at the core, it doesn't matter how much you polish it. It still tastes bad. We're going to need more than 3 years for sure. Ellen says, the right to say our players are scum. No, if we want the team to change, then it starts with us. I just don't know if I'd say scum. That's a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah, they're brand new. They're brand new players.
Bilal says Ruben Amorim needs to teach them how to score goals. The gap between midfield and attack is too big. It's ruining the flow of our attacking patterns. KG, where do we go from here?
Back to the drawing board. Ruben's got to figure it out. He's got to work out how to
He doesn't have a drawing board, does he? He doesn't do that. He's not going to change.
No, but he has to look at something. I think he has to start with his strongest team. Is the thing with he spent all that, will put the outlay on the big striker, build around the striker, build around, you said him with the 210s. You spent all that outlay, play it. You know what I mean? There's no excuses. I don't want to hear he's not ready yet. And he has to change the system in towards servicing the striker. We said that before. We were saying about Rasmus Højlund. He wasn't receiving the ball enough. I hate the fact that we finally played the ball into the box as soon as we realized Maguire's coming up there.
I know.
So even if you want to play the same system, service the effing striker, and play Cunha in his position, play Mbeumo in his position, and work out what you want to do in that midfield. Euro was good. He needs to get a better relationship with Mbeumo and Ahmad. I think that needs to work more. Because it's just easier to. We stopped Ahmad today, and then Dorgu wasn't as dangerous. Quite a few things, man. We didn't lose. That's the only positive I'm going to take from that game.
Kyle says, I'm Amorim out, but cried when Smith Rowe scored. Amorim ruined Bruno's confidence for taking pens. Your credibility now, my heart. I don't know if it's ruined Bruno's confidence taking pens. I don't know if that's on Ruben Amorim, to be fair. I think it's Bruno, isn't it? It's not, like I said, it's not the first time he's done that. Mr. Darkside says, Amorim is too stubborn. The 3-4-3 system worked in Portugal League, man, and he's acting like it's the Holy Grail. And Jason says, Bayindir was the only player to create a big chance. That's actually true. How mad is that?
Listen, I just feel, that this United side, we've seen this before, and you can say you can't blame the players right now because we've been up for the Arsenal game. First game of the season, we ran and we done everything. We played good, but the old mistakes are still there in terms of scoring. The next game against Fulham, first 25, loved it. Then we got weird again in midfield, won a penalty, and still managed to mess it up. And the end of the game felt like there was one team that was going to win, and it felt like Fulham. And then after, it's the sins of the past with Delo. That touch is criminal. Bruno's done the mad penalty, but there's no excuse in the fact of this. The way we play, we have to play towards our strengths in the team, and I don't think we couldn't get Cunha into the game from the 10 when we bought on Sesko. We couldn't get Mbeumo into the game. We just got poor. You know what I mean? With our strongest team, and then after, obviously, you have Ugarte in there. He won. Bruno was the big criminal today. That's the truth of it. And Delo helped, and we managed to get through that game without. Bayindir had some good saves, but Bayindir is a liability in that goal. And a good team like Arsenal, isn't it? A good team like Arsenal, Spurs, anyone that knows how to put, you see that Declan Rice free kick, Declan Rice corner, right on top of that player, he's finished. He span around, he didn't know what the ball was. Remember there was a time when we got through that game set piece-wise in spite of the goalkeeper. So, and then what does that come down to? That comes down to the manager.
Schmeike says, I don't think Ruben makes it past November/December. Well, to be honest with you, Schmeike, and this isn't even being over dramatic, it depends what happens in the next 2 games. Because let's be honest, how bad could it get? I mean, we didn't lose today, but it feels like a loss because it's a big reality check, isn't it? It's a big reality check of like, oh shit.
No, it doesn't feel. It doesn't feel like a loss. No, I wouldn't say that. I knew what a loss was going to feel like. Is we felt losses.
But I look at them as the same thing though. Maybe that's why to me it feels like a loss. I feel like today had to be a win. Today had to be a win. So either or, like a loss or a draw, feels the same to me. We've spent 200 million. Nothing's really changed that much. This still feels kind of loserish.
Nah, it doesn't. I would say, for me anyway, I can only speak for myself. It doesn't feel like a loss because I knew what that loss was going to feel like, and it was going to hurt even more. I'm not feeling great about the result for sure, but a loss, just the late dagger for them lot would have been even worse. You know, shit playing away from home. He's got work to do. That's all. You know.
Fraser D says, my life can't be like this again this year. I barely survived last season's depression. This manager is poo. I can't enter group chats. Yeah, that's the situation we're in. Be sure to click the like button if you haven't already, folks. Still got over 3K watching. We're 5 likes away from 2,400 likes. So let's see if we can get to 2.5K. And also be sure to subscribe, get to 203,000. KG, Josh told me to remind you to record a fan view after the game because you didn't do so last week. That's what you reminded me before I forget.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to be going to watch the wrestling and just literally detach from football. I can't do it, KG. I can't. You'll be live on your channel, I'm sure. Shortly.
I'll be live on my channel in about an hour. I should set that up actually. So you can send. You lot join me in an hour. Yeah, I'll be live. Everybody, thank you for watching.
Yeah, we're out of here. More pain. We're out of here.